Hey Nano. Hey Heather. Okay, let me give you a quick tip on how to do maintenance real quick. As you see, I have called a quick stick, and then right here I have my bicycle pump attached to my bike. Okay, when you're gonna take off your tire, see right here where you have the locking thing, you can unlock that and you can tighten it or loosen it on this bolt, this nut on the opposite side. But when you put it on, you want to tighten it so you have resistance about halfway so you can push it on real hard. And always have these facing back on the front and back tires, because the last thing you want to do is get some brush or a piece of a tree or something and get it hooked on there. Okay, so when you take your tire off, whether it's the front or the back, you take that. Now usually mine will slip right out because it's a road bike, but if you have a mountain bike tires, sometimes there's like a little clip on the side, or actually this one has one. As you can see, I flick it up and it opens up, or I close it. Of course, this one doesn't want to work now. All right, so this will clip on and off. Yours will, on your road bike, on your mountain bike, it'll clip and open it, and so you can close it. After you put your tire back on, you always spin it. If it spins freely, it's fine. If it's rubbing up against the calipers, that means you have to open this up, adjust the tire. If that's not what it is, a lot of times you have to have these adjusted, but 99% of the time, it's right here. Okay. So once you take off your tire, I'm going to show you how to fix a flat tire. Okay, so zoom in on this part here. So right here, you probably have always keep the caps, don't lose the caps. You have what you call a Presto valve. Okay, you have to, it unscrews on the top a little bit, if you can see that. You a couple of turns, and you just free it. Make sure it's free, and then you could put air in your tire. And then when you're done, you tighten it back up after you put air, and you put your cap back on. Otherwise, air will eventually seep out. Okay, so for now, we're gonna take break the tire open. So I'm gonna hit that. And then what we have is called oh gosh, I can't remember the name of it. I'll remember in a couple of minutes. Quick stick. It's a quick stick. What you do is you put it in between the tire right here. You just hook it in there. Make sure this more air is out. Now I haven't done this in like years. All right, and then you just and it will, there it is. Once you break it off the first part, then it's easy. Okay, so now see, half the tire is off the rim and the other one stays on. So when you change your tire, right here on your stem, you have this little nut. You take the nut off, and then from the opposite side, you take your tube. If you have a flat tire, if you're putting it on, you're taking it off, you grab the tube and you take it off, taking the nut off, leaving the stem last. Same thing, and when you put the new tire back on, put it with the stem in first, and then put the nut on, put the tube in there, and then you're going to close it up. Okay, so if you buy, I told you about these little things called, let's see if you can see it in mine. Okay, there I have one there. It's called a Tuffy. If you can see, it's kind of orangey. Okay, that you're going to put in between the tube and the tire. Now the secret to that, it's a strip. So when you put the strip in, you're obviously going to have two ends that come together. Put the two ends that come together on the opposite of your your stem, your air stem, because that if you put that on this side, then you have an unbalanced tire. So once you put that in, it's between the tire. That way, if anything punctures the tire, it won't puncture the tube. It'll hit that polyurethane or whatever that piece of strip. All right. So once you have your tire in, okay, now once you put your tire in, if say you had a flat tire and you get it out of the box, you have it in there, you have the stem in here, you get your pump, and this is, now all these pumps are made, you have to switch the inside, but most of the time you get them and they're already ready for these valves. There's these valves, and then there's like the old kind for the old tires, or like the car tires. This is a Presto valve. So this one's used, it's already comes ready. Remember, make sure this is open, not all the way, so it doesn't fall off. Put it on there, lock it, and a couple of pumps. And what that does is that it makes sure that you don't have any kinks in the tube. Because if you have a kink and then you put it all together and you pump it up, you're going to have like a hard spot on your tire that can blow a tube. So I pumped it up a little bit, and then what you do is now you just push it back on like this. And it'll go right back on. The last part is it's a little bit harder. These ones seem to be a little easier because I think they're older. Now there it goes. Take a little bit of air now. Sometimes if you put your foot like this, you can push up on your tire. See if we can do it with a quick stick. I doubt it. I haven't broken these tires down in years, so they're a little harder. So I use a quick stick, but the opposite way. Instead of hooking the tire with this little hook right here to go around to take it off, I ended up putting the hook now on the rim to push it on. Okay, so now I have it on. Your thing is already on, it's unlocked. Put it on, lock it. You want to make sure you get it where it's nice and hard, not where you're popping the tire and you're forcing it. But once it gets hard, you know.
That's what she said.
Okay. Then what you do is put that that's how you know it's, when you do that, what you're doing is you're pushing out any air. You're unclogging it of any dust. Lock it back on. Put your cap back on. All right. So then you're gonna put it back on your bike, like that. I'm gonna tighten this up a little bit. And push it back on. Okay. Now when you use your brake system, you mainly want to use just your back brake. Once you get your back brake, the majority on, you can use your front brake to kind of help you slow down, but the majority of your pressure you want is on the back brake. Okay. So now when you're fitting yourself on the bike, but you also have that, now mine just has the nut. I don't have the wing thing on my tires on this one because it's an older bike. But you adjust the seat for your height. Now the secret on that is when you get on your bike and when you're on it, you put the balls of your feet on the pedal and you want a little bit of a bend when you're like fully on your saddle. You want a little bit of the bend. You don't want to be like this pedaling. Your downstroke doesn't want to be like this, and you don't want your toes bending down. When you're like this, you want a little bit of a bend in your knee. That way you know it's fitted right. And the back one you have the chain, but it'll fall off just like the front one. Just don't mess with the chain, it'll just come right back on the chain. The chain is made on there, so when you drop the tire, the chain will be right in place. So I think that's it. Always keep your chain cleaned and oiled, and that's about it. Oh, don't forget, when you put your tire back on, you clip this thing, so that way you have your brakes. Like I said, you open it, you'll check, every bike is different. So you'll open it if you have to take your tire out. If you don't, you don't. But then when you put it back in, make sure you put it back on so you have your brake system going. All right, let me know if this works for you guys. See you later.